Hi guys, welcome to Crime Time, and I'm Alice Neary. I'm going to call this scene a scene with a little surprise. This was several years ago. A gentleman, I would say in his early 60s, called my company, a Neary Biohazard Company, and he explained to me that unfortunately his father had committed suicide. So my employee and I, we headed to the scene. We get to this gorgeous high rise right on the beach, $1 million condos, several $1 million condos. The white sand and right there on the Gulf. I mean, the Gulf was just yards away from us. Absolutely amazing. We meet our client on scene, and he was actually quite surprised that two women were there. He thought that there would be men that would be coming and doing all the hard labor. I explained to him that nope, a Neary Biohazard Company, we are doing girl power today. And I assured him that he would be completely satisfied. So he explained to us that he had, after dinner, he had decided to go for a walk on the beach. And when he got back, unfortunately, his father had committed suicide while he was gone. So we went in the scene, and, there was blood spatter everywhere. From the ceiling, all over, probably 80% of the walls. The mattress had to be removed. The carpet had to be pulled up and biomedically disposed of. The walls, furniture, end tables and chairs, and there was a lot. It was a large scene. It was going to take us a day or two to finish that. So he gave us the okay, and we started. Now, with biohazard waste, you have to start highest to lowest points where the areas are infected. The reason for that is cross-contamination. You remove all those infected areas up high, work your way down, and that way you don't have to go back to those areas and possibly contaminate it all over again. So we started removing the ceilings. We cleaned the fan. Then we started on the drywall all the way on our way down. And we were, I would say, a good 75% done with the walls. And I got a phone call, and it was from a very dear friend of mine. She works CSI, and she asked if I happened to get the scene, and she said yes, I did, and I was actually there at the moment. And she said, hey, can you meet me outside? And I said, sure. We took a break, and my employee and I went downstairs and met her in the parking lot. And she said, Alice, how far are you? She didn't even know if I got the scene or not. She didn't know how long I was there. She didn't know anything. And I said, well, I'm pretty far. I've removed the ceiling and the drywall, and see, 9 times out of 10, you have to remove drywall. If you try cleaning it, it what I call boogers up. You remember way back in the day that rubber cement that you had in art class? It did that. It boogers up, and it actually makes more of a mess than when you started. So it's just best to remove. A Neary Biohazard Company, we just removed everything. That way you're never called back to a scene. Everything's removed. That way no bot flies can come and start laying eggs, and then you have maggots, and then you got a whole other problem there, because maggots, the cycles, the flies lay them every 3 days, so it'll just keep multiplying. And so we had taken care of most of the drywall, and she said, well, I kind of figured that. And I said, why? What's up? She looked really disappointed, I guess. And so she explained to me what happened. The son had called 911 when he discovered his father had passed away. CSI had arrived on scene with the sheriff's department, and she was greeted by the son, and he's holding up a large Ziploc bag, and he explains to her who he is, and inside this Ziploc bag are my shoes and my clothes and my GPS of where I was walking when my father had committed suicide. And you will see that I was taking a walk along the shoreline on the beach. And she thought that was extremely odd. In all her years of experience, that has never, ever happened to her. But she ruled it a suicide. There was a single gunshot wound to the head. And another thing that was, I guess you would say popular. I hate to use that word. But a popular method for suicide was using helium gas. And the idea came from a book called The Final Exit. It was written by Derek Humphrey, I want to say 1991, and it was a great solution for the terminally ill to use to end their lives. You can buy the helium gas, a balloon tank from Walmart or Party City. And actually, there was a large tank there. And I wondered what that was. But, I didn't know what it was. And she said, we ruled it a suicide. She said until they went and viewed the autopsy. And the coroner had pointed out during the autopsy that there were actually 2 gunshot wounds to the head. They were very close together. And, unless you were really looking, you wouldn't have noticed that. And I had just biomedically destroyed, her evidence. So there was no proof to show anything. I think that it was probably a mercy killing. I have a feeling that maybe he's right. He went for that walk on the beach and then he came back, and possibly his father hadn't quite passed away yet, and maybe he, helped him. I'm really not sure. But definitely the son had some kind of something in it. So there is definitely a mystery there. So my employee and I, we went back and finished the scene. We were there, I think, 2 days. And, I kept seeing this beautiful view day after day and of that beautiful blue water. I just wish I could just go down and jump in it. So we finished, and we started taking the biohazard waste out to my biohazard trailer. Now, my employee, she was, I think, 20, 21 years old, and she was just about 2 months pregnant. So she couldn't lift anything or do anything strenuous, anything like that. And I'll tell you what, getting that large, thick mattress, extra pillow and all that, in that elevator and down that hall and out into my trailer, and then I had to lift it up on my own on one end and get it in my trailer and jump down and do the other end and push it, and holy cow. Like, I think that probably took 30, 40 minutes. I was laughing after a while, and then I wasn't laughing. Then I was pretty ticked off, and I was angry and kicking stuff, and I had told my employee, oh my gosh, I hope nobody's, recording all this and they're going to put it on YouTube. What an embarrassment, because I was quite a sight. But hey, I got it in there, and that's what counts. And we loaded everything up. The client, he congratulated me. Thought we did a wonderful job. Was quite surprised that 2 women could handle all that heavy, labor, because, we're in Tyvek suits and it's hot, and we are, I'm using my Milwaukee power tool and cutting up, drywall with biohazard all over it, and the mattress, and and cut up carpet. It was a lot. And he was very impressed. So we got his approval, which is always nice. He, gave me a big hug and told me how much he appreciated us. And he also blessed us, which I always am. I'm always so happy when a client does that. When a client hugs you and says, bless you for the work that you do. You really helped us, no matter what the situation is. That's such a great feeling. And that's better than money. I'll tell you that. And I said, you know what? I do have a favor, and maybe you can help me. He said, what's that? I said, I would love it if I could just go out your back door and run through that beach and jump in that gorgeous water that I've been looking at for 2 days. And he said, absolutely, Alice. Let me get you ladies some towels. So he got us some towels, and he said we would, run into security when we were headed out there, and we did, and we told security what we were doing there, and they were good with it. And boy, I'll tell you, I ran so fast, fully dressed, in my t-shirt and my shorts, my sneakers. Down I went, running down that beach and jumping right in that beautiful warm water. I mean, it was amazing. My employee was collecting shells on the shore, and I floated in the water for a while, and that's always nice to do after being in that Tyvek suit. And I got out, and her and I sat on the beach for a while and watched sunset. Let me tell you, that is definitely a way to end a scene. We just, decompressed and, shared what bothered us on the scene, maybe some emotional moments and things like that. And what a scene. But so that's the scene. That's the name I'm gonna call it, because it definitely was a scene with a little surprise. So thanks, guys. If you like what you see, please press the like button or subscribe. I really appreciate it. Any comments, please go right ahead. If you have any questions for me, I welcome those, and I will answer them in a later video. So, Crime Time with Alice Neary. Bye, guys.